Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now y'all, BTBG alert. We have a lot too much doping in boxing. Way too much doping. The last case, a day or two ago, we all know Francisco Rodriguez, a Mexican cat. We were talking about it yesterday, who was found doping in a interim flyweight championship match, right? And I didn't know he also came from the gym, from Canelo's gym with Eddie Reynoso. But I was telling you guys yesterday that when he was fighting Yalai or Yafai, I would forget the guy's name always, but he was fighting a up and comer 9-0 prospect, but Olympic medalist in England. And he was just had too much energy, was coming forward the whole fight, and I was talking about it like, damn, in this climate where a lot of Mexican guys are doped, right? I was like, damn, it made me feel bad at looking at the fight and saying, oh man, he's probably doped. I didn't even like me saying that, even though I'm just watching the climb and seeing that it's constantly happening. And then comes to find out he was doped, right? You're still in the alleged stages, but we know what time it is. No one comes out and says, damn it, you caught me. I was doped. It's never that. So we go through this the whole time. Now it comes, he's from Eddie Reynoso's gym. We know that now. So that's 7 guys from the same gym. Day later, ain't nobody raided the gym. Upset about it. Ain't nobody raided the gym. Let me tell you guys why. And you guys know how I roll, and it is what it is. I'm going to have to tell you straight up, right? What it is. It's BTBG. Boxing is BTBG. That's why I say it all the time, and it's beat the black guy. There's no outrage. The reason why these guys can dope and come up with excuses, and the WBC sanctioned body protects them like they always have, is because at the end of the day, look, you might can go out here and beat one of these brothers, and we're going to have to cheat to do it, right? We're okay with that. Basically, you're okay with it. It's no outrage. There's no outrage in the comments, in your comments, when you're doing videos out there, those uploaders. Do you see any comments from the Latino community saying, hey, that's messed up that they keep being doped, that Canelo was doped on clenbuterol, right? That Oscar Valdez was doped, that Luis Nery was doped, right? That Jaime Munguia was doped, that Ryan Garcia was doped, right? They know they rejoice when they go beat some guys, especially Ryan Garcia beating Devin Haney, right, on dope and overweight and all that. You see what happened. Everybody's upset at Devin Haney, right? So when you have this despicableness, it's because at the end of the day, the envy for these brothers. And, here's the flip side. On the other side, you have generational talents in Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford, right? The whole industry, it pays to talk negative about these guys. All the uploaders talk negative about them, ones that used to didn't, the ones that come up and you start seeing them on mainstream stuff popping off. What do? They all talk negative about the best fighters that are of color. That's the way to come up in New Russia, right? It's the way. So they just say, well, we sell, yeah, we're going to sell our soul. Damn it, that's what it is, right? Fox News of boxing, Boxing News 24 or Boxing News 24/7, constantly. They have nothing positive to say about Terrence Crawford, nothing positive to say about Devin Haney, nothing positive to say about Shakur Stevenson. Generational guys. Maybe Devin Haney's not generational, but in terms of how he moves in this generation, makes him generational. From talent, it's not always about he has the most talent, but he has a whole lot of heart, like Andre Ward. Probably not the most talented, but a whole bunch of heart. Going after the harder guys, going into fights as a underdog, chasing guys where he would be the underdog constantly his whole career. And we have nothing to say positive about it because the industry pays. It pays to be against black, awesome fighters. So that goes back to doping. Yeah, you about to go beat up some brother and be doped. There's nobody outraged about Rodriguez right now, right? Nobody, no, there's no outrage there. There was no outrage about none of them, right? And the penalties are not there, right? Eddie Reynoso's gym has to be shut down until further notice, until we find out who it is. If it's not Reynoso right now, Reynoso should be tripping right now. And so should Rodriguez. So Rodriguez, you've been training at the gym. You go to the gym and you knew, you can't tell me Mexicans speak Spanish amongst each other, don't they? They speak the same damn language. So you know that the other 6 dudes was dope there. So you got to be careful if you go starting to train there, right? And if you get caught right now, you shouldn't be coming out talking about, well, I was caught with what? You should be on Eddie Reynoso talking about, I'm suing somebody up in here. We talked about it like before. You think that Rodriguez didn't talk to somebody, or he should have? Hey man, why is everybody doped here? Is there something, what's going on here? You know, having that conversation, and then you go to your first fight with this dude and you're doped, just like Jaime Munguia was, just like Ryan Garcia was. Canelo was the main guy there. He's been doped, and we know it. Gennady Golovkin was begging people to look, just like, guys, would you just look down at his stomach? You don't see what I'm looking at? All these damn holes in his stomach? So we're going to act like we don't see that? Everybody, but the problem is, look, man, yeah, we dope over here. We just basically, we do, and we hope that we don't get caught. And we have people in high places that are trying to make sure that we don't get caught. If you get caught, it's going to be a slap on the wrist, because at the end of the day, we got to do something to beat those other guys. And I ain't going to say those other guys, but it is what it is. We ain't going to fairly beat a Shakur Stevenson. We ain't going to fairly beat a Devin Haney. And we damn sure ain't going to fairly beat a Terrence Crawford. Right? People would be happy if Canelo doped 3 divisions higher, and if he doped against Terrence Crawford and beat him. Wouldn't care. Right? This is the same country where we watch, you know, people that are not of colors go to the Congress and commit treason with Confederate flags with them. And we don't even call it treason, nor do we call them terrorists. Right? So with all that being said, bro, that's what it is. Where's the outrage? There's no outrage for doping, because at the end of the day, it's BTBG. And I told y'all, come and explain to me. Come and at least show me that you're people first and race is second. Because if not, when I say that racism trumps everything else, I would be right. And we don't want that now, do we? Get it together, y'all. We got to do something about this doping. Systematic doping. Doma Sports Talk. Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.